and welcome to Totally Naked, where we talk about everyday battles and how we can tackle those battles with practical Christian solutions. I am your girl, Dominique, and I am accompanied by my wonderful host, as always, Dante, April, and Jax. And we're going to jump right into it. That's a lot to say, y'all. But welcome, welcome, welcome. This week, guys, has been just a week. I don't know what it is. It's just been a week. There's a lot going on. Because there's a lot going on, things can fall through the cracks. Or, you know what, matter of fact, maybe not really falling through the cracks, but you're just like, I don't feel like it today. Right? And one thing that I did want to just bring to the table is the fact of I really feel some type of way that we kind of missed the episode last week. And obviously, we didn't just miss it just to miss it. There were things going on that prohibited, but that got me to thinking about, just some different ways that I could be a little bit more intentional about being, making room for my commitments in life, right? So, with that being said, we're talking about today commitments. Worth the risk commitments that lead to life. Okay, so let's kick this thing off with this question. What is something, guys, that you did stick to and it changed your entire life? What is one thing you're happy you stuck to?
Who going first?
Who going
Well,
first?
well, me, I am. You said something that I stuck to and it improved my life. My thing is, I am very, very intentional in the things that I say and the things that I do. So one thing that I've always committed to, and it all has continuously changed my life, is being intentional about my interactions and not letting um certain interactions that I have with people, whether it be from like somebody at a grocery store or somebody I see out, or just somebody in passing. I try to make those moments count, and I try to make it as intentional as possible. That has changed my life because I've gotten friends, I've gotten business, and I've gotten closer to people just by being intentional.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. I want to say for me was moving to Florida and staying my behind in Florida. So, for me, when I came to Florida originally, I came from high school, graduated from high school, came to Florida to go to school. Bethune Cookman University, by the way.
What's up with the HBCU?
Shameless plug. Say what? Say excuse me.
I said, what's up with the HBCU? Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop. But I'm happy that I stuck with it. The reason why I say that is because I was away from home, right? In Daytona Beach. Nobody lives in Daytona Beach that I knew of. I had a son that was still living back home in Philadelphia, so I was missing my son, feeling guilty. I was feeling like, how could you leave your child to go to school? Like that was a real rough patch for me during my freshman year of college. And I used to call my grandma. I'm like, look, we're gonna have to go ahead and get the plane ticket because I'm coming home. I'm about to be on back home. But I didn't quit. I stuck in there and bam, your girl is here today. Okay.
That's what's
So
up.
I am very happy that I stuck with staying in school and really pursuing, for a better life. What
Facts.
about you guys?
Well, I'll just go. One of the commitments that I am happy that I stuck with is improving my credit score. I can be transparent that look at Jax, the financial guru. Yeah. Okay. So I've always wanted to make sure that I had financial security. However, there were areas in my life, like one, I was able to get a home by age 24, get my own car and all these things just because of the background. Like I didn't have the carpet rolled out for me. So it was a lot of scratching and surviving. So I really didn't have an understanding about credit. I didn't have an understanding about I didn't have the financial literacy to back me up. But needless to say, that doesn't mean that you're still not doing stuff and getting interest rates that are high, getting just in debt, further in debt without understanding it. And so I was committed to learning about what my credit does and how that impacts my bottom line every month. And when I realized all the money, and this was way later in life, that I realized all the money that was going out that was in extra interest because of my credit score or my credit not being stellar or good in good condition, then making a commitment to say, okay, I want to know everything that I can know about credit so that I could do better at that, to the point where I had to do something I felt like was one of the most vulnerable places in my life. Sit down and allow like a good friend of mine to pinpoint and like nitpick on every single area in my finances and tell me, okay, you need to be putting this here. You need to set this aside here. You should take out a secured credit card and make sure that you're doing 30% utilization. And I'm not trying to give you guys a financial lesson here, but just the other day I got an alert for Credit Karma, and that alert said, hey, congratulations, you're 56 or 58 months straight without a miss or a late payment. And that is not to toot my horn, but it's to say that it was nothing like being able to walk into a bank and the bank, like they like looking at you was like, we'll give you whatever. Okay, you can get this, you can get that. I never experienced that in my life.
That's a good feeling in
It
the
was
week
the most
where you walk in, it's like I know I can get what I want.
no,
Okay.
I had never experienced that, and it was like
It's a
I'm
great
here
feeling,
like in
right?
my 30s, and to be able to start to experience some of that in my late 30s at that. But that commitment to, what, I'm going to do everything I can in myself to be intentional about making sure that I keep this credit score here. Because the truth of the matter is, like, when you can walk into a bank or or your car insurance, they're looking like, why are you paying this much? You shouldn't be paying this much. It's a good feeling. And it's not to be braggadocious. I don't think that's a word, but it's really to say that, honestly, if you stay committed to something, that the reward, even though tough, even though it may not be easy, and there was instances where it was not, that it was worth it.
That's dope.
Look,
Girl, that's dope.
I think for me, one of the things that I applaud myself on being committed to is myself. And I think a lot of times as you go through life, you do get to a place, especially when you're trying to grow and achieve and excel, you get to a place where, you question yourself. Is this the right lane to go down? Or am I able to, or do I meet the qualifications, or am I good enough, or, whatever. And I applaud myself for staying committed to the growing process. As April said, and as other co-hosts have said, getting to this place in life where now I see the fruits of my labor. I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. I'm starting to see doors open up because of my commitment and believing in myself, having enough confidence to step out on faith, and just trusting my gut and my instinct and my gifts, talents, and anointings to be able to excel. It was so worth it. And I think that, that commitment to self, which should be the first commitment, second commitment aside from God, but definitely commitment to self, is something that really changed the course of my life for the better. It helped me to think broadly, think more innovatively, more strategically, love more, love harder, So that's what I would say would be my biggest commitment to date.
Yeah, no, that was good. I like that. Yeah. But okay, so what about from this perspective, guys? What what happened in your life, or is there something that happened in your life that you desired to do that maybe you started to do and you just didn't stay committed to it, or maybe you didn't even start the commitment to something that you desired to do and you regret today that you did not do that thing? I know
There,
for me, go ahead, Dante.
go ahead, Dom.
Say it again.
Go ahead.
My bad. So I know for me though, it's becoming a sign language interpreter, right? I always wanted
Been talking
to,
about that for a long time.
yeah, I always wanted to be a sign language interpreter. For those who don't know, a little fun fact about me is my mother is deaf, so always, had sign language and stuff around me and a part of my life. But honestly, the things that I was doing in my day-to-day life didn't point me in that direction. There were opportunities that I did have to be able to just go ahead and just start, but I allowed um my fear of saying, well, maybe I can't really work full time and go to school, though, and take care of my son, things like that. So really, I limited myself, and I regret doing that because it could have been, number one, an additional stream of income coming in. It could have given me more flexibility in terms of my scheduling, timing. Now that we are in the COVID season, I could do probably more road trips and things like that. But basically, what I'm saying is, I regret not giving myself an additional way to really live the lifestyle that I do see for myself. So that's something that I would say I regret that.
For me, I would say that the thing that I regret not kind of sticking to was musical theater. And it's crazy because I had growing up from the time I was like a little boy and up until even when I moved to Florida, musical theater was my life. It was my hobby. It was pretty much everything that I did. I was always in shows in community theater, always in shows at school, always in shows at church, always in shows, plays and different musicals and stuff. And I never forget, I got an opportunity to do, I got an offer to work for Disney Cruise Line, being one of like the actors on there. I got offered a contract for it. And it
Wow.
was one of those seasons when I was like in limbo, like I didn't know what I wanted to be, what I was gonna do, da 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 da. And I was discouraged, to say the least, by some family members that I shouldn't do it and I should finish my education and da 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 da. So I didn't take it. And so I regret not allowing myself to. I mean, I'm good now because I'm good with where God has graced me in this season. But I would say back then, I regretted the fact for years after that I did not stick with musical theater. At one point, my goal was to move to New York and do Broadway or be on a touring cast doing something in theater, in community theater or Broadway or theater on a large scale, whatever. And I didn't follow through on it. I kind of just gave up on it, pushed it to the side, and found a new lane in life, which I'm excited about and I definitely love. But that's something that if I could go back, I would have definitely stuck with it and pursued it.
I wish you would have stuck with it, because listen, let me tell you something. Broadway tickets.
Well, I actually share with Dante in the creative side. And so I find that very interesting because I think that there's something to pull from that. But for me, it was when I graduated high school, I came into my undergrad as a music major. And so as a music major in undergrad, there was a lot of music theory. There was a lot of singing in the choir, which I love performing. I love being on stage, but the theory as well as the practice, what I regret about that time is not necessarily that I chose to go a safer route with doing a business degree, because I feel like God was able to still use that skill set.
Mhm.
But what I do regret is not taking the craft of learning an instrument as much as I would have liked to. Because like right now, and this is what I believe about even with you, Dante and Dom, is that although I didn't do that creative component then, it's still there. There's still this
Yeah.
desire. There's still this yearning to learn it. And I do believe that God is a redeemer of time. I also do believe that he's able to work things out for his good. And that just because we may have deterred off of that particular path doesn't mean that I won't end up still learning it some way in some capacity. But at that time, I felt like, you know what? All right, I'm switching my major. And so I got out of music and did something which I felt like would be more lucrative. And and I don't regret having a business degree, but I do wish that I knew how to play the piano or a guitar right now.
Hey, so one thing I do regret, and I don't even know if I told you guys this, but
Something?
once I graduated
I know,
college,
right?
well, this is the thing. Let me be totally naked for a minute. So this is the thing.
Pun
Um,
intended.
shameless plug. So when I graduated college, what I really wanted to become was a Marine. And I knew that with my college degree, I would go in as an officer. And me and my best friend Patrick really wanted to go in. He ended up going in. I did not because my mom at the time was not the healthiest. So I wanted to make a decision where I could be like close. But that is one of the regrets that I have is not going in. Now, for those of you guys who know my work record, I was contracted to go over to Iraq. So I was over in Iraq for about 14 months back in 2008 to 2009. But that was a small portion of what I really wanted to do was, be a Marine.
A Marine?
I
Yes,
don't
sir.
know why
Yes,
I
Congrats.
ma'am.
thought
I didn't know you wanted to be a
military
Marine.
guy.
I absolutely did. I had actually passed all of the PT that comes along with that, the pull-ups and the running and all of that great stuff. But then when I graduated, I was at a different place, mentally.
Can I low key tell you that I misunderstood everything that you said about Iraq in the past? Because I was going to send you Happy Veterans Day yesterday on
And
text.
thank you for not doing that. I was
Oh
a
my gosh.
contractor. I was a contractor. I was not,
You
in.
didn't serve.
Does that make sense? I did not serve. I was a contractor.
I'm so glad we clarified that.
Can you
I'm
explain
glad
what
you
you mean?
clarified that too.
So you thought he
Yep,
was in
yep,
the
yep.
military too? Yeah,
I
What,
did.
you almost got a
what
Happy
does it mean
Veterans
to be a
Day.
contractor? Just sidebar real quick.
Okay. So when you are a government contractor, the government pays you to go over there to help out with different things that happen on base. And you can be contracted to do a myriad of different things. What I was over there to do was counterintelligence and defense against RCIDs, which
Can
are
you
like,
talk about this, or is this like classified, like Secret Service information?
well, I can, well, again, this is just
I
me
feel very
talking about.
important right now.
This is just me talking about what I did. This is not me going into detail about how it's done. Does that make sense?
He's a
It's two different
civilian.
things. So no, but there are things because when I tell you they dig deep to find out who you are, they dig deep to find out who you like. It
Are
was
you
people who
trying to
called me
kill?
saying,
Are you like 007 or something?
I am not. I am not.
All right.
We are
I just
sorry
wanted to
about
know that.
that.
Go ahead, Dominique.
What? Well, I gotta go. No. Listen, if this is your first time catching one of our live broadcasts, welcome to the silliness that is, in fact, totally naked. Okay, this is what you may or may not get when you come onto this episode, onto this show. Okay, now since Dante threw it back over here, I am going to do what I was going to do and say, I wish I had a sound effect, y'all.
That's so
I'm
crazy. What's this?
glad that you don't.
It's time to make a shift. It's time for shift happens. And
Absolutely.
with Shift Happens, what we're basically doing is giving you some tips, some points, some things that we believe that will help you identify and realize and recognize why you should stay committed to the things that you need to stay committed to. So, Jax, go ahead, kick it off for the people and let them know why they need to stay committed.
Well, the number one thing is always don't give up. Don't give up. Please make sure that you remove our barriers in your way. You have to make sure that your gas pedal of life is always to the push to the floor. There should be nothing that is in front of you that should stop you. No person, no words, nothing. It should be about you and attaining your goals. Get a goal book, write them down, get a vision board, map it out, but make sure that there's no barriers in front of you that's going to stop you from attaining your dreams.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Facts and more facts. All right, Dante, what you got for the people?
Know your worth and stay committed. I talked a little bit about that earlier, knowing my worth and being committed to my growing process. Don't give up on yourself. Be committed to, your wins and your losses. Take the losses for what they are, build upon them, learn how to be different and excel, continue to excel and achieve greater. But know your worth, stay committed to the growing process. It might not always be easy. It might not always be cool or popular or correct, but just stay in the race because in the end, you will win. I know that sounds very, very Maya Angelou-y.
You better come on with the rhetoric. Okay. Well, the next thing, people, is talk that talk. Encourage yourself. I just want to remind you that we have to do like David did and encourage ourselves in a time where it doesn't feel like we're going to continue to go through. When we get frustrated, when we're tired, when we don't want to continue to do the work that it takes to get to the next level because it's just so hard, remember, stay away from those words like I can't, I won't, I give up, I'm over it, this sucks. Stay away from those words and replace those words with I can, I will, I shall be, I do have, I will. Because
Amen.
life and death lies in the power of our tongue. So if you want to get something that you haven't attained yet, change the way you talk about it, and then you'll change the way you walk about it. Okay.
All right. Cliches. You and Dante.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Abe, tell them the next point.
I guess the last point, and I think is one of the most important, since we are a Christian show, or a show that talks about Christian solutions, is that we need to always remember that there is someone else on the opposite side of our commitment, outside of ourselves. It's not, our success is just not predicated on us being successful, but others being successful as well. And so everything that we do, there's someone that is waiting on you to give your skills out, to give your gifts out. They need you to be everything that God created you to be. And so you don't want to stop or stall and give up on your vision or give up on your dream because it became too hard and you feel like it's too tough for you. But there's someone else on the opposite side that will benefit from you just sticking it out. So stick it out, be committed, do everything that you can be. Maybe you need to rally up some troops. Maybe you need to get some mentors, or maybe you need to read some books. Get some information from a minister or pastor. Remember who you're keeping in your circle. Like if you got negative friends, like Dominique was just talking about, you need to just make sure you have people that are giving you positive words, encouragement. And so stick to it. That's all I got to say. And there's someone that needs you to finish it and complete it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Well, just in case you popped in at the last second, let me do the rundown for you one more time. If you want to make a shift, a change in your life, remember, do not give up. Don't give up. No barriers in our way. Know your worth. Stay committed. Keep grinding. Keep pushing. Remember, talk that talk. Encourage yourself. When you're not getting it from anybody else, know what that dream means to you and continue to say, I can, I will, I shall achieve those things. And lastly, stick it out. Your success is not for yourself. Listen, if we didn't stick it out, guys, we wouldn't have Totally Naked today.
That's true.
And that's all I got to say. If we didn't stick it
That's real
out,
talk.
we would not have changed the way that our country is moving. We would not have made our voices heard. We will not have the liberties and the freedoms that we have today if we did not grind and stay committed. Okay, so we just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time coming into the room with us to have a little conversation. We implore you to like, share, and subscribe. And we do have podcast platform. If you rather enjoy the conversation via podcast, we are on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We love you to life, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.